A lot of people talk about nexus letters, and I think that it's time we sat down and walked through the nexus letter and the complications that come along with it and what you're looking for, how to make it work. So let's get into it. Hey, welcome back, everybody. My name is Steve Becker. I'm the host here at Veteran to Veteran. Hey, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I appreciate all of you for being subscribers. Again, we've grown in dramatic ways over the last just 2 years that I've been doing this, and I'm looking forward to doing this for many, many more years. I'm hoping you're getting value out of these videos. All right, let's talk today about the nexus letter and why it is truly, or it can be, truly a blueprint for success. Now, the nexus letter is based on quality. If you can't get a full-blown quality nexus letter, just write it off at this point, because quite honestly, if it's not something that you can get from your doctor, it's going to be very hard for you to prove. Now, when I say write it off, what I mean is don't try and do it yourself. If you want to have some help getting a nexus letter and you've got all your medical evidence, your C-file, the whole 9 yards, there's a link below in the description, an affiliate link that you can click on for a one-time free consultation and then decide whether or not you want to move forward with that service. I've partnered up with them. They seem like a good organization, so feel free to do that or try and work this out on your own. Awesome. All right, so let's talk about the 5-step nexus letter checklist. Number 1, prepare your evidence file, or what we call the doctor's packet, right? And what should be in that doctor's packet is your denial or your rating decision letter. So denial, if you're trying to get rated. Your decision letter, if you think you need to be rated higher based on medical evidence. So it shows why the VA denied it, or it shows why you are too low on the rating scale, right? And you're going to basically present all these things to your doctor, ask them to write out this nexus letter, etc. Then you need your in-service event documentation. So get your DD-214, get your STRs, your service treatment records, get anything you can find. Listen, I had one instance where the VA rater kept telling me, no, I don't find any evidence of this. I went out and found newspaper articles from the early freaking 90s. So, there's all kinds of things that you can use that will say, hey, go back to this report, go back to that report. Do some Google research, man. It really works out well for you. I'm just telling you. So get that information, any arrest records, any accident reports, unit records, anything that led while you were in the service to this event or to this condition is what you're looking for. Then you need your current diagnostic records. Now, if you're going to your doctor and your doctor's the one that diagnosed you in the first place, they might already have this, but you need recent documentation. And when I say recent, at max 18 months ago, but more likely what you want to aim for is 6 to 12 months ago with a confirmed or a continued diagnosis of your condition. That's really, really important, is making sure that it's current. Next thing, obviously, is you want to write out your personal statement and you want to get some buddy statements. I talk about buddy statements. They're not going to be the make or break for you, but they could help push this thing forward. So get those buddy statements if they're going to work in your favor. Number 2, you have to make sure that this healthcare provider is qualified. If you're going to go through a service, like I said, there's an affiliate link below. You can go to that service and they are qualified. They have medical doctors that are qualified to do this, right? If you're going to go to your own healthcare provider, make sure you're not using a nurse practitioner to write this, because that's not going to work. It needs to be an MD. Doctor of medicine means went to medical school. Chiropractor, not good enough. Okay? You need to make sure that if you're going for a mental health claim, that it's a psychiatrist, not a psychologist. The difference is psychologists didn't go to med school, psychiatrists did. Make the determining factor about who's going to write your nexus letter, whether they went to med school or they didn't. Because if they went to med school, it's going to hold a lot more weight when it comes time. All right. And then confirm that they're going to review and that they have reviewed your entire file and your service treatment record, right? When you give it to them, say, hey, this is my expectation. This is what I'm asking for. I'm asking for you to review my entire service record or service treatment records. I want you to review my entire claims file. Like I said, get your C file, slap it on their desk, do whatever you got to do, right? Make sure that you're asking them to read through the whole thing, because there may be something in there that's a gotcha that you don't know about. And then optional, if your treating doctor, as in the doctor that you go see over and over, your buddies with, you've seen them on the golf course, you've seen them at restaurants in town. Okay, your normal doctor can write these, and they'll probably hold some decent weight. But if you go to a specialist, a physician who writes these reviews, a non-treating expert, sometimes that holds a little bit more weight because they're a little bit more objective. They don't know you. They don't necessarily give a junk about you, while your doctor does, because they treat you or she treats you all the time. So sometimes it's better to go with that third party so that you can get a completely non-biased, objective review done, right? So, number 3, the 4 essential elements, the structure. Number 1, doctor's credentials. Must have gone to med school. They need a board certification. They need their medical license number. They need their full name and a brief statement that tells the VA rater why they're competent enough to actually write this. Hey, this is Dr. So-and-so, medical license number 12345. I have specialty and board certification in musculoskeletal, and I have been doing this for 27 years. I've seen multiple patients that are veterans and non-veterans and seen how this affects their lives. Boom, that's good for doctor credentials, right? Number 2, diagnosis and service event. In the letter, it has to say, here's the diagnosis that they have. It was granted on X, whatever the date is. And here's, the service event that I believe led to the condition, blah, 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 right? And number 3 is the nexus language. The veteran's, whatever condition, is at least as likely as not caused or linked to their service. At least as likely as not. Period. End of story. And then, number 4, rationale and evidence. And here's why it is at least as likely as not connected to their service. That's the 4 things that you really, really need, quite honestly, inside there. Step 4. This is for your doctor to know, but you may want to explain this to them. Use the required nexus terminology. At least as likely as not is the big thing, right? That's a 50% or greater chance. Avoid less than likely, not likely, could be, possibly, any of that. That's not acceptable. At least as likely as not, or more than likely, are the 2 things you're looking for. More than likely is going to be really, really hard to get. Okay? At least as likely as not is what you're aiming for. And then, make sure that there's a direct service connection or a secondary service connection. Make sure all that stuff is in there, because, it's not going to be something that your rater understands, and your CMP examiner may or may not take the time when they read this nexus letter to go all the way through it and care. So if you're going to get one of these, get a good one, right? Finally, review the draft. Make sure it says at least as likely as not. If it does, good. Submit it. Get it all in there. The form you'll use is the 20995. 20995 is supplemental. And you're putting new and relevant evidence. Here's my nexus letter. Boom, here you go. And then sit back and wait for your rating. All right, that explains the Nexus blueprint. Again, I appreciate it. Put your comments below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. See ya.